games during the
Alright,
Ascension run last
Nongshim on
time. This
attack,
sort of
Talon
comp was
on
pulled out to
defense,
counter
crazy
Riddle Order
comps.
specifically.
Crazy comps,
It was
Danby
their
gets
one and
raid
done comp.
boss.
They never did it again. And for really, they never touched Ascent, and they probably shouldn't have, considering the RRQ game where they got a little bit destroyed.
But that's why it's so strange to leave this map as the final decider. It's such
Started
a
off
curveball.
Salvo, swing
just
over
for
towards
Talon,
middle,
but Nongshim a
clear
little bit as
mid.
well, because Talon hasn't really
Wall
played this map
doesn't
that much either. But right
quite.
now, a bit
Oh
of a
boy, it's not
standoff.
a great start.
Primi watching down arches. He's got that little high tide blocking so far. Demi has snuck all the way in. Will Primi expect it? Does he have the flicks? The shots are peppering over, but he's still keeping... He's playing keep away.
Oh, Margaret has just found Jitboys going for a bit of a jump spot
Dude,
over towards B
looking
main, and with Primi falling too, maybe this round might be over. You stretch out through market, you get towards the B site and cruise. It's going to be cascaded off.
He does push into it though. Ah, but Danby quick on the draw. Just the 2 players left alive, and they've got so much space to cover.
Camera's going to be available soon for Margaret as well. You've got the high tide now, but it's the information from Ivy. There's both of them. Can he get out? Okay, he's bailed.
Salvos. Decent kill for Killua, but still,
Damn,
yeah,
nicely
you
done
know,
from Nongshim.
Nongshim had numbers and spades in this spot.
Well,
There was no way
you reckon
Talon
the
would have
wall's on
been able to fight
purpose?
I
So
mean,
you think they
think
missed the
about
wall?
This map, you think about this series. I
But
don't
dude,
think
if the
there's
wall was on
any
purpose, I
universe,
feel
whether
like
it
my
be
peak
Alpha
from bottom
or
mid should be
Omega,
better. But
any
they at
of
least
those
managed to use it well by
Talon would have
locking
been
and getting
expecting this
closer
sort of
towards pizza.
composition
They didn't
to come
expect it.
through. I'm trying to cast my mind as well and think, is there actually anybody running
It's at least nice to creep up on the right,
on this map
but
currently in all
I
of
do want
our
my
partner
guy
teams?
over
There's
towards
not a
middle
single
to...
team is actually running
I mean, I guess
Arbor,
he's selling it
yeah,
if he's not
definitely
ready
the
for the
curveball where
duel,
Nongshim
but I'm
have
not sure
provided
that's
the
the
goods on
thing.
before, but
Either way,
not
dude, they love this on the ecos.
Well, we will see the cascade, the harbor once again coming into effect to block off A main for now. Both smokes up around this spot. While you've got Margaret, Marshall in hand.
Oh, Chad, did they get a 1?
Just
What's
Primi.
the pistol?
Yep.
I want to
Bit
say
of silence.
4-1, but
See if the numbers do sway in the favor of A or
remember
not.
a Talon
'cause, well,
pistol.
if they don't, then it's just
it's 4-1,
an
right?
unfortunate series
Yeah,
of events
okay.
for Talon in the round.
It's already beginning to look like it's building up to that.
Okay,
you
the
know, you got the
40K.
smokes both going in towards A, and Talon were
They
not
lost all of
entirely
them?
sure if the hit was going
No,
over.
they got
Just
one on
Primi the A
Haven,
side,
right?
it's quickly
Yeah,
dealt
yeah.
with.
Gotta be
That's right.
careful for the overextensions, though, for an individual member on this Nongshim side, but now you start to piece things together,
Okay,
maybe.
clean.
We've seen a Teo jumping across, we've seen a Vice, we've seen nothing at B yet. Maybe they might be
Probably.
surrounding A. I mean, eventually they'll start to consider the orb will be heard by Persia.
Let them have
It's
one.
the first 2-1 harbor on Ascent now. We've actually
Apart
seen
from
a
this,
lot.
just
Paper actually
pistols,
still
so for Talon,
use it.
shoot, you're either going up the spike or you're trying to find, some liquor damage. which
Nongshim used it
probably not gonna be
before.
plausible.
I mean,
They had
you
some,
gotta
like...
make a move at some point.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Dude, did they
Certainly
have...
considering that someone might have pushed
was it
out
with
into
was
spawn,
it with
so
a
it takes
Brim
some
as
time.
well? I can't remember.
And to answer Pilski's question a little bit earlier,
Loud,
Darby's
yeah,
played
Loud used it back in the
one
day with the
instance of
Sky stuff.
YOLO in his career.
It's going to be the second?
I mean, I don't remember it. I don't think they got the dub, judging by stats, but I may be wrong. Maybe this is where we need our resident Nongshim expert.
What do I think of the
intro
Nongshim comp?
from law.
I want to see what they got
This
first
sort of
before I
round,
judge it.
it doesn't take an expert to kind of consider
Like,
that
I'm always-
Jitboys is not going to win.
I'm always
Wow,
gonna
even with the grab net, yep.
see what you got first.
And now we'll get the buyout to come through for Talon in the next round.
And this is where I do have to agree with what Morgan, Big Time, was saying on the desk as well. I mean, you can talk about the comps for sure, but it also comes down to composure, right? The mental game between both teams into this state. Because adaptability matters quite a bit, and if you're just completely surprised by this curveball and that tilts you for the rest of the map, the rest of the rounds, then you kind of just have to kiss your chances goodbye. Well, just don't want to have that happening.
This is the map that one of the teams will kiss their chances goodbye, potentially for
Exactly.
stage 2. You got to have
Insta
more weight on your
Euro.
shoulders because if you're going out
You're
here, you're
all
not
for
getting
the
any playoff
bonus.
points. Right? You gotta get
Retake
top
over
4 for that.
towards A. Free
Oh,
side.
boy.
We got the luck going as
All the
well.
hype that has been built up. Now we've got the high tide, the execute into A. Talon, it's going to be a catch-up rotation being played. They've got 4 players already somewhere.
Salvo's in. Jitboys does have Gravnet as well, but the high tide starts to fade.
Oh, and Margaret towards
It's a
the back.
great
Spotted out by
drone
the
to
Stelter,
see if
thankfully,
there's some
but
kind
still
of
the
luck going on.
outlaw shot all the way from A main, blocking off the first point of contact.
Oh, Margaret's lurk.
Oh my god.
Depending on timing.
Oh, timing's nuts.
Okay, just around the back of the crates, so Jitboys has information.
Then we got
to go
top
for the
mid to
kill
trade
now,
it
but
out as
towards
well.
A
I
main
like this
again,
plan from
still
Ivy.
Persia, they're both able to block things off. It's a pseudo crossfire considering hell, and it's a tough position for Cruz to fight off of. pushed out of the door, and it's just thigh left. Oh, look at that. Pepper shots over with the classic
nice
right
Adama.
click.
This is a
Spreads from the
classic
back.
snowball here.
Nongshim fanning all throughout, and they've picked up the bonus.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous round for Nongshim. And again, this is the sort of scenario which absolutely tests your team's coordination, your IGL's mid-rounding game plan decisions, your coach intervention to recognize what can be plausible. Because with no one running a
kind of
harbor,
doing that thing
with
again
you
where
probably not doing
they
your research all the way back to the
leave a
one instance
site
that Sinfrosa
for
didn't
retake with
run
double
the
sentinel,
harbor.
though.
It was, you know,
But
highlighted. I think they said it in the interview that it was like
You're
against
all, I
Riddle
get
order,
it.
I think. So yeah, this really comes down to a lot of that mid-round decisioning and what you can kind of recognize throughout the rounds.
Right, how much you're able to gleam off of these little utilities thrown in your face. Meanwhile, for Talon, you might have the double sentinel, but how much can it really do when you're being tossed with so many uncertainties? Right now, it's Stabby down middle, but you have no idea that there are players all across the map. Oh, the shot's whiffed though, but Margaret will be able to recover at least one.
You got
it
one.
does get a chuckle out of Dion. Oh my god.
That's a hurtful laugh as well, because that one just looks absolutely just
Dude, what is going
disgusting
on
for Margaret, and not
this
in a good way.
round?
Now though, maybe some stability.
Holy, no one can aim.
As it's just going to be Thigh left with 60 HP. Gun to be retrieved, but hunted maybe by Ivy. They're going to put more of a premium on just making sure the plant's there. The orb is already gone as well. You want to maximize getting this Reckoning.
Gonna get that harbor up for their next big buy round, though.
TP's away.
And now we have the podcast.
Well, one thing's for sure, if we're going to launch this podcast episode, would be that Nongshim
Even they're
gets
losing
to,
defense. I do. Give him
build
a.
up towards a lot more.
Let's wait for some buy rounds.
Of this first half.
Like they had one buy round where they were up
Under
against the
Talon,
Yori,
though.
where you could argue that they should have been playing over towards site, but
Mental form has been something that's affecting them. Oh, look at that. Even
Yeah, not able
the
to take the
sweep
gun.
from Francis.
Nice hunts.
one
at the end to
orb
remove the bird.
well, not even one orb away,
Now
gets
we'll get
the last
proper
kill
buyouts
at the
come
end as well,
through
gets
from
all.
Talon and
Dude, this is
Annihilation
devastating for
available
them.
for Jit Boys. Still waiting to sort of see what Premi's value is going to be back on towards this Jet as well. Not really given too
Okay,
much
the Jet at least
space
can get an
around the
op
map
out.
to play with. And these are the sort of scenarios where I'm also wondering, it doesn't really matter what agent comp that you're going up against. I still want to just see some sort of tandem plays come in on this defensive side, right? You're still running the Teo, you've got a Deadlock, you're expecting some sort of util combos. You've also got, you know, the
I'm a
availability
fan of
from,
the.
Killer with the Vice, you know, trying to play with some
I'm
timing.
a fan of the timeout because if they lose this against the
these are the sort of
ult,
things
they're
that I want
actually
to
in
see
trouble.
from Talon, right? Coming out with
They
some
got
sort
their
of
own Deadlock
combinations,
ult.
but a timeout's
They need to
coming
play
right
sites
now,
heavier. They got a harbor
this is
ult, so they're probably just going to keep
really
it simple with the
elevated
harbor ult.
This is... He's seen enough in 4 rounds, maybe? Because if you're looking at Talon, defensive side, double Senti, you know?
It matters a lot. And another thing that we do have to consider, I think it's not brought up enough, is the fact that he's relaying this to Cruz. Cruz has to translate then to the boys, and he also has to lead them. He has to get them to listen to him. Sometimes that might not always be the case when your mental is down in the dumps. So we'll see how it all shapes up.
They lose this round? I mean, yeah, it's double Sentinel, man. They gotta...
You have the double
I mean,
Senti.
honestly, this comp's
Needs to
sick on
work around
attack
it.
as
And
well,
what
but
we're seeing is, okay, sheer wall towards tree once again.
you gotta get
Yeah, a lot
at
of this
least...
Senti util towards the A
I mean, you
side.
should be
You've got
winning the
Operator in
defense pretty
hands of
heavy.
Darby right now. Neural Theft and Reckoning, I mean, those can be some pretty good ultimates in these sort of scenarios that, again, as Talon, you're not really expecting what a Reckoning is going to be able to do.
Smoke from B with the
Now
wall
with
over
high
towards
tide
middle.
cutting
It's the
across
same
short,
wall with a
cutting
gap
across
in.
Pizza.
And this time we
Start
op
to get
it.
some further information with the drone as well, and this is the time where I think, what
Okay, well, then the
traps are you
pistol
setting
wall was
up?
on
Send you
purpose.
till at 8, leave Primi there, rest of your forces towards B.
We'll see what the forces can do. So far, so good on the off angle. Killua off of the blooming cyber cage as well. Down onto A, where once again, like you mentioned, it's all that utility.
Yeah, and now it's 2 unanswered kills as well, right? So it's the 5 versus 3 scenario.
Yeah, I
for
like this
Talon.
as well. They get the
These
kill
are
over
ones that
towards
you
B. They
cannot
pop
afford to
the
drop. You don't
wall
give
down.
Nongshim away.
They pretty much
to
have
find
safety.
an
No one can really
advantageous
peek
duel.
out. Maybe a small angle here.
Trying to hold tight. Ivy, though, slowly trickling forward until Cruz goes in for the sidestep. At this point, 50 seconds remaining on the clock, sure, but surely not Komodo.
I mean, damage, really.
Yeah, if I'm going to be critical for Nongshim, they...
They're, you know, around the 1500, 2k mark.
I don't know. I always prefer
Pretty
teams to
gorgeous
just
for
go for
Nongshim,
like
so any
more of
damage
a
you can
set
potentially
strat
find
with
here would be
ults
good.
these
Close
days.
towards an
I
ulti
feel like
perhaps
always see
as well,
defaults
but
into
now we just
people getting
Persia
killed and then
and
people use
position
ults
locked in.
into... Man
the
disadvantage.
He'll just take the ulti orb on the map.
Oh, they can hear him.
But they went for a play with an attack off,
He's gonna try to at least play for
which
the
wasn't
crosshair
too
flick, but
bad. It's
yeah,
just
not gonna be found. Primi detected on the A
worked out well
site,
for Talon.
and it just shows how
I would
effective
just
that
always
one-time can
personally
be
prefer
against-
something more
And
set.
now I'm sort of wondering as well where the operator doesn't work
Yeah,
out.
they
for
pick up
Derby,
the
do they
op as
change
well, so they
things
can give
again
this to
and
Primi if
instead
they
of
want.
using that, go back to a normal rifle and try to adjust the game plan as well. Because if I'm looking towards a way that you're going to put pressure on Talon in this map, it's changing the way that you're playing
Yeah,
the
but
attacking side a
Tai
lot.
keeps it.
I mean,
the
you're
Omen
adding
op.
so much to, you know, their mental scape that they have to contend with. Like, if you're changing things up time and time again, it can really play with them.
Possibly, but again, they had 2 weeks.
Yep.
For all we know, this was fully well prepped, but you also have the studs. Ooh,
The
quick
perfect
on the gate crash.
The perfect player to get out of dodge in that scenario. Combo between salvos
Yeah,
and
managed
GrabNet, but it's Darby to get out of there.
And then for the smoke to block off A short as well as mid. The drone out towards B main, but it's somewhat slipped away by Margaret.
See, they're very proactive
Time
over
eventually
towards
to fall,
B. I
see
like
what
it.
I can do with the operator.
It's also
This
a good
is
call
scary,
for them,
though.
Talon
If
to
this
push
op
out
goes
B main
down, you got no
alongside that
smokes on
drone
defense.
now to possibly just hold space. Not fighting too much against Nongshim. Maybe hearing the clone.
Yeah, it's got to pop the shear, then the thorns to buy time.
Oh,
Dude, Primi's got a lot
He's
to
the
do
only one here
here.
at this A side as well.
No
by the way,
rotate
so
as
you'd
well.
be
They got the
looking
wall
at a
deep over
situation where if he
towards B.
falls, it might be a post plant killer with the Steel Garden, Jit Boys with the Annihilation.
No matter what, Paja
but
can get
reckoning
involved. He
in.
has Omen ult.
To where? To B.
Yeah, to mark it for a bit of a B split. 30 seconds to go. They don't
Right,
need to stick around here. I mean, I'm looking at
Whoa.
Persia,
Hey,
who's still
fake
towards
B.
this A side.
Dude, it's a nice fake
Right?
on this one.
Forces Talon to scatter.
Dude,
and
Primi's gonna do so much.
pick up the pieces because now you're not entirely sure. Just Primi to try to hold for the angle. He does walk away with that one kill, the stray bullet catching square on Francis's head. So controller gone now, and that could help out in the post-plant scenarios, but
I
We
mean,
didn't
Killer was
wanna
going
lose the
as well,
next.
so no Steel Garden.
Respect
Ooh,
to
the
Jit
sleeping
Boys.
Ivy means it's a 3v3.
so not too bad. Jit Boys good on the flank watch. Dambi low HP as well, but he is in tree, and that's a spot where, unless you check it out, you might not know.
GrabNet comes online for Jit Boys now. Cruz does have salvos. Can they isolate a player?
Trying to throw it in towards Generator where no one's hiding, so maybe some information to then collapse in towards Hell. Margaret, he's got a good chance, but full swarm. Now Dambi out from the flank. Not detected so far until he gets a shot at the thigh. 2v2, but good shots from Jit Boys. Dambi desperately jumps and
dude, Jit
dives in
Boys
with the
has done
shorty,
a
but still Jit
madness
Boys
here.
able to block it off.
An
Yeah, the
absolute
fact
madness.
that you're able to remove the flanking player in Ivy and that sort of
Cruz did
scenario
good as well.
makes
I
it a
mean, the
little bit more
smoke is
tenable for
smoke
Talon to get
instant
that
diffuse
retake
is
happening.
nice.
If there was a
Dude,
kill
how
in
they
towards
managed to
unders,
get
yeah, maybe
all
it
of these
goes
kills
Nongshim's
without
way,
losing someone
but
is
a
kind
couple
of
of good
insane.
adjustments, and when you're in a retake scenario and a
Like,
3
Jit Boys on
versus
top of this
3,
luck
I mean,
as
you're
well
just
was good.
playing
3-person
for
stomping over
a
towards
audible
spawn.
call and to go together as the team,
case someone's
right? So
taking
making
a
sure that
timing.
Jit Boys has the lasting protection at the end there as well, very well needed. So there's a secondary round gathered up by Talon. There will be another full buy across the board, however. And Army this
Okay,
time
now
can
Primi gets
secure
the op.
all of the information with the Dimensional Drift. Flip it over though, Quack, and Primi with the operator. No one's looking for him to push on out, and he does get away. There's a
Okay,
second
this
from
is
Cruz.
nice as well.
Nice
They're using their
opening
camera
double
over
for Talon.
towards default B, so we got
Nice, right,
nothing to spot
underselling
middle,
it,
so we
Dion.
up walk out.
3v5
Hit the
now
shot
for
bottom and
Nongshim,
middle
and they
as
are,
well.
well, trying to scrounge up whatever they can find. They do have the creds
You should be
for
starting too with the
upcoming
prime. Thank you
rounds,
so
though,
much,
so
man. Appreciate the 4
still
months.
able to march forward with whatever confidence they have. This duo now challenging Killua. The Cove to block things off. Killua opts to play it silent.
Yeah, you don't want to give them an option where they could W and look to bring it back into an equalization scenario. So it's 3 versus 5. If Talon want to allow the plant to go down, they can.
I like this from Ivy. He knows that they're going to do the normal
on this one. He bites off more than he can
Visal in the
shoot.
Killjoy spot.
And the Steel Garden ripped.
He goes aggro
So
over
if you're
towards
Francis
shore.
as well as Persia, not a lot of chances left. Paranoia to block off
Good
A
smoke.
main as well. And it's just Francis hiding inside of Hell. Certainly detected soon enough. Primi thankfully saving
was
his
this
teammates
wolf.
from certain doom. Francis to spray, but Primi coming back in once again.
see them
He's
from
back
Primi.
again.
Yeah, just making sure that when
Yeah.
there's numbers advantages
One more
for
reason
Talon,
they
they're
push him down
settling
to an
down a
eco.
little bit. You know, you would expect in that
Once
sort
you
of
get the
scenario,
2-9 loss bonus,
IGL
I
crews to come
imagine
in,
that these
come
would
up
just
with
have
the
light armor
decision,
and everyone
the
else's
team to be
spines.
all aligned and how they want to go for their retake. But more importantly, that sort of round, it's having a good idea in the beginning, something that you haven't deployed just yet, to catch
Is the
Nongshim
vitals
off guard.
necessary here? Oh, for sure.
Certainly poetic.
Nothing wrong with the
Now
vital.
this
Yeah.
will be Talon reaching the 3-point mark. If they get one more, that would be breaking that curse from the past 2 maps.
Yeah. Well, another big old bite. So these rifle rounds, we've seen Nongshim be able to get a plant, just not able to be successful in the post.
All right now. Cruz though, this time with an op in play, in for the grab that combo for Jit Boys. Cruz then holding the angle. Does
Don't like the
Nongshim
angle.
expect it? Certainly not. They haven't been here
It's a
before.
nice shot though.
Yeah,
Dude,
hard
he
to
hit
get him with that
double.
angle. Surprised that there was no, salvo investment from Ivy first to push him off a line, but irrespective now, 5 versus 3, another 5 versus 3 for Talon. And these sort of scenarios, as long as they don't overextend and give opportunity to Nongshim, they've been successful in winning them 100%.
Fake progression smoke to draw out utility.
Everyone's using the op, yeah. With
Still got
8 rounds in, we've had the
showcase of a double
Omen,
Sentinel though on this sort of scenario.
the
Sheer to
Omen, the
protect
Jet, and the
over a
Tail.
tree.
Also for
They've
Thai,
mixed up their
possibly
B
slip
pretty
around
nice
with
though.
TPs.
I like the whole,
Jit Boys now.
Again
With the Gravnet
Gravnet
available, you got
salvos, but
Cruz
then
with the
insta-peek.
Salvos online and an Armageddon.
That's
This
pretty
sort of
nice.
scenario, by the
Especially if they
position
can't beat
of
it.
Nongshim, it's just a respect save.
It's also the fact that they would have to take so much time and effort just to clear every single position.
Okay,
if
well,
they were
Talon
to
went
march
from
back
having
into
no
A,
money to
so
having insane amounts of
timeout.
money.
Have a
There's
discussion here
3,000
as
on top of
Nongshim.
this.
You do survive with enough as well, where Ivy's going to be able
Gotta
to drop
rebuy some
over a
retail,
gun.
that's
Dami,
it.
you would expect. Francis is going to be able to be
With this, they pretty much
buying
buy
for
for the rest of
himself.
the
This
rest
next
of the
round,
half.
I'm kind of looking at it in a scenario where you probably have to dimensional drift, maybe off the rip, maybe wait a few seconds and use it, see if there's any over push from Talon. You've been holding on to that one for a little bit now, and well, if you were considering using it in late round for a sort of execute, maybe you need to use it early because you've been losing the first duels.
And that's sometimes what it comes down to, right? At least what we've been seeing for the past 2 maps. The first duels, so pivotal, paramount to both teams. Of course, on a map like Ascent, then you got the 3 clear lanes, and at times Talon pushing out onto them.
Yeah.
Nongshim get caught off guard.
And they're always changing up where they're pushing,
EMEA
right? There's
pick'ems,
up
we're
cubby,
doing
a
on
little
like
bit of a mid, or
Monday,
there's some big
Monday or
main control.
Tuesday.
We're not seeing too much towards the A site, which you are fine with in the scenario that Killua's setups are generally over there as well, right? You don't necessarily need to. They're happy enough and confident enough that they're winning the mid duels, winning the B main duels. They can potentially keep on going for them until Nongshim show us an adaptation that they're no longer able to.
I miss
Still, though,
Abyss, mate, come on.
That once again brings back the
It's timeout
question
worthy.
of composure. How then does Nongshim find their way back into the game?
Yeah,
The
I mean,
timeout from Silkanon.
you got to remember as well, in the grand scheme of things for the 10 players in this lobby, there's a couple of youngins that are new to this atmosphere, right? So it can play with the mental.
Across both teams,
Yep.
absolutely.
And it's a map
Well-
3 in a playoffs game for your survivability in a lower bracket with Masters slot on the line. Yeah, you got to have a bloody big gauntlet run. But,
I know.
you know,
If you bring that though, yeah, logically you kind of want to back Nongshim just given how they were able to persevere throughout that entire
I think Liquid can
Ascension
make
run.
Toronto. I think Liquid have a
they
good
were
chance to
kind
win
of
EMEA, to be honest,
untested
with what I'm
until
watching.
the final one, though, the grand final.
True.
As I mentioned though, Quack, using the dimensional drift off the get-go to try and get some early information was probably what I expected to come out in a scenario like that.
Oh.
Primi has just absolutely booked Dami.
Okay.
He's got the hot hands this time.
Oh,
The
and no
drone not
one's-
spotting out Margaret, but yes, 3 players.
Not expecting him, and it's another 5 versus 3 where the plant goes down. How successful have we seen Talon in these retakes? 100% of the time, and what do they have online now still? Cruz with an Armageddon that can absolutely rip you a new
It
one
was
at the right
mad.
spot.
It wasn't too
Jibbles
mad,
for the
right? It
flank
had
as
fawn
well, but
smoke
he's
behind it.
currently being
He
marked
knew he was
by
isolated,
Persia.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but Persia's really deep. He'd need his paranoia to come into play.
It's good information at least for the rest of Talon to then throw on more utility. Francis trying to survive inside of the cove. Killua to bring out the guns, and then for Persia as well as Ivy. Counter Armageddon
really?
backing onto the spike
You're
to
going
buy
for the
some
ult
time,
on
but it's
this.
been halved.
Yeah.
Killua hiding inside
sticks
of the
it.
smoke as well. They're sticking it all the way through. Killua springing out for it, trying to swap over onto the
Got
shorty.
the
Ivy
tail
for
out
the
of them
kill,
as well.
but the round nonetheless headed over onto Talon.
Yeah, when
These
it's half
rounds kinda
defused and the
convincing from
salvos are
Talon,
not
yeah.
immediately from a close position, right? There is some trajectory, distance that you got to consider as well. How long do the salvos take to get onto the spike? Well, they've got to fly a little bit of distance, so really heads up from Talon to just stick it for the remainder of that one. And again, another 5 versus 3 scenario where Primi comes online for the first shot, just going through the wall when he recognizes that Darby has to equip the gun out of the dimensional drift. 5 in a row now for Talon on this defensive side.
And now all of a sudden the potential A contest deterred by the op shot.
Yeah, and you've already still got, forward positions at this B main spot as well. Where
A
no
mid
one's contested
default
you
wall
online.
cuts
There's
off
smoke, so
middle,
you put in a drone
salvo,
to
clear over
further
towards
gather
mid.
some info.
Oh, and then the
Oh,
annihilation
it's just missed.
comes close.
But it's full control for Talon.
I mean, they're
and they
super
can't
aggro over
wanna
towards B main
go
the
for
whole
this.
time.
I can't blame them.
Like,
I
B
mean, how
main's
many
a
times have they
constant
been
trap.
opening
It's a great
duels
shot.
This time, Darby answers back, but immediately Nongshim lose their smokes.
Yeah.
Chip boys.
Towards A as well.
Puts the wall down,
least
it's
no
vulnerable
information
for a
then for
little
Talon
bit.
to
Margaret
regroup.
starts
Oh, the
shooting it, I
timing. They
imagine, then
found
he
him.
insta-swings.
And that comes down to maybe some inexperience and timing on this Yoru as well. Pushing all the way through the guts of mid like that. You're turning around at the wrong moment. Now Francis is in the open, and it's just for
Good
a trade.
trade.
All of these shots have essentially been individual as well. Nongshim not able to get
They're going
any
to crash
trades
out on Talon
happening.
again. I mean, they're playing the defense nice.
Meanwhile, Talon,
Even
every
the
fight
first
is
couple of
essentially
rounds
being
weren't
body
too bad. It was like pistol, anti... I mean, it was pistol
That's where you
eco.
really gotta consider
Then they
as
went
well.
first
I mean,
buy round
yeah,
against a
it's
Yoru.
above you if you did want it,
Like-
Ivy, but with 20 seconds to go, it's the
If
probably not
anyone...
yet trying to
it's the same.
tuck
If
himself
anything's going to
into
happen, like Nongshim look a
this
little bit
little
lost right
cheeky
now.
corner.
I think they should probably be
But that's the whole
forcing
thing,
B.
Komodo.
Like
Once
I
again,
like the
You might find some of these
with this
dots,
comp
right?
in
Kills being
general.
traded or
I'm
found
gonna
all
take
across
out the
map,
harbor
but
for a little bit.
being able to connect
With this
them
comp in
together,
general, like these
that's
four,
where
I do think that forcing mains
Especially
is
with
what you
Davi
want
at
to do.
the
I
helm of
think like
things.
forcing
Yep.
mains with a Yoru
things can kind
and
of
getting to
get
these
away from the team at
positions
times. So
that
6
mean
to
that you
4
can
so far,
have the
Talon still
TPs
haven't really
that
broken the
teams aren't
streak.
used to.
Yeah,
is
I
everything.
definitely feel like this was a very
I
big
think you
risk
can then actually just head
for,
over towards the
Nongshim to
sites, but
allow
you can play so
Ascent
many
into
angles with the
pool
salvos
with
also.
The way that these rounds have kind of been played out
But
now,
then
that
I just
Talon
feel like
have
they're
an
kind of just
idea
giving
of what
them-
they need to do to look to
First
close
of all, I don't
things
think the
out
right
as
people
well.
are taking the
On
map
back of that
control once they
timeout,
do
it's
it.
kind
I
of
mean,
been
they're focused
flawless
very
from-
heavy on
from
mid.
Talon. I mean, it was a bit of a different look when you had Ivy on the
I
fade
do
back
think
then.
that
You had Darby on the
They
Neon
can like
and
take
Margaret on the Yoru.
like this
That
could be
was
good, but I think they need
what
the
they buddied up
salvos in. No?
this harbor pick with.
Well, also now that the economical situation is
Like I'd be
turned around
focusing
for
so
the
much more on
options.
the sides at
Outlaw,
the moment.
Margaret has been playing
But
the
maybe
main
they
so
think
far,
that the
but
wall's
ooh,
always
the
over towards
shots.
middle, so they
Someone
want to
whizzing
try
by.
default middle and break the wall.
Ah, but it's another opener. Killer on a Francis this time. Nongshim have not been able to get any lead, any advantage. And I'm seeing a gate crash go towards hell on the A site for Darby. He needs to be the hero maker if he wants to try and do it himself.
He's getting tagged, but at least infiltrates the site. With the clone, try to force a fake. So more reactions out now from Talon. And Dambi kind of calls it clear for his team to sneak in. He holds space around tree.
Oh, he's
Hot
blinded
flash over,
himself.
but yeah, that just definitely shows inexperience.
Do
Unfortunate,
you think
but
they're
still
naps? I mean, they're too much. They're going to
fantastic
kill the agent,
chance for
but
Talon to launch
I'm kind
themselves
of
back
okay
in
with
for
it.
the retake.
I'm a little
Another
bit
5
bored.
versus 3, man.
And I also think the meta's going to be incredible
We'll
once
see.
Teo goes.
Off angle for Persia, possibly. Margaret to assist. Still, though, with all the utility coming in, the numbers and spades as well for Talon. You got possible grab net, swings out for Primi. He obtains
Jesus,
two
and then
more.
the flash
Chip
was
Boys
good
to
though.
finish
The
things
flash timing
off.
once the cage is
That
going down.
was really nice timing.
Dude looks really
on
nice
the
at the moment.
Operation
I
Killua.
feel like
As soon
Nongshim-
as the smoke
so-
starts to fade, you pop that one out. Anyone looking to catch you when the
If
smoke
I do
fades,
this,
well, they're just blinded.
I
They're not
agree
dodging
that their
one.
comp has to
Flawless
take
round to
middle.
come through from Talon. Another
Because I
5 versus
have-
3 post-plant
because I have
scenario
the
that they just
Teo,
look
I don't
really
know.
great in working
Normally
for
when you
the
have a
retake.
Yoru, in my opinion, you have to take over towards middle, but
But replay
I
ops
do
doing
think-
dirty in that one.
I mean, he's found
The
the wrong
Yoru-
timing.
Yoru
To be fair,
Omen,
if he dry
you
walked through
can
the
go
smoke,
over towards the
it would have
sides.
been better.
The
They
problem
wouldn't
now
have
is what's
expected
going to
that.
happen is they call the
Who knows,
timeout.
actually?
Another
They've been
scenario,
focusing
another
so
universe.
heavy
It's
on
7
middle
to 4,
that you're
it's
going to see
7 in a
Talon
row
put
for
their
Talon.
wall
It's
on
the
middle and
second
then heavy
timeout
hold the signs.
used by Nongshim because
This is
they
probably going to be the
recognize,
round
well,
where they should have defaulted middle.
try and win this, well, lose the 7-5 at least.
But I think
It
as soon
is
as that
still
op
close,
comes
so,
out,
yeah.
and like
Nongshim believers still
Jets just disrespect the
definitely
Harbor util all the time.
kind of
I think you have to
they
focus
were,
on the
they
main.
were celebrating at the beginning.
That, in my opinion, you can
know,
sight here with the
winning out
tail
bonus
like
round,
this.
everything. You're thinking, oh yeah, we're cooking good tonight.
7 rounds in a row for Talon, though.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's it, though. Again, anything can happen. Both timeouts being spent once more in this first half.
I think the teams
Last round
will
of the first
play
half for
liquid
Nongshim, so that
comp
means
on
Silkanot
split.
is going to have a way with a statement.
Yeah,
really
I think
to
so.
prop them up for the
They're
second half as
they're
well.
insane on that map, right?
Well, this is where the value in the double sentinels is also working a good thing for the defensive side. I am keen to see how
They
they're
look
gonna
very
change
comfy on that map.
attack, but I mean, it's just
double op.
Huh?
Judge. Thigh.
they're rolling in money, Quack.
I know,
they
but
can have
still.
other guns on the floor ready to hot potato.
Yes, yes. Oh, wait. Hold
Triple up, set up.
Hold up.
Triple snipers.
Hold up a minute. Seriously? Well,
One of them's
many
gonna work.
angles.
Yeah, Darby's
Yeah,
just
dude, we're just
driving
disrespecting the
out of
Harbor stuff.
bloody tiles. No one's watching him. Like, brother, protect your boy.
Brother,
Literally. Darby dead first yet again.
But that's the thing. Nongshim would have no idea. Who does this?
I mean, it's a staple thing. Having an
mean,
operator
yeah,
peek
they
for a
got
tiles
a-
push.
they got a
Generally,
drone
this is
to
why
push
you
them
are
off of
smoking
angles,
bottom
that's
mid on a
it.
map like this, or smoking up towards short. It was a deeper high tide. You just disrespect his Primi.
You might not expect the second, the third op. Primi repeaks, gets
Ooh,
spammed
that's nice
through.
though.
Great shot by
Who
Francis.
goes
You gotta
in?
contend with Killua, who rips the
It's
steel
one
guard
instant
and in respect
Visal
and
to
in
make
answer to
them.
the reckoning.
Ah, dude, he's got
Soft
no
on
help
this
for
op.
ages. Killua's
As I
actually in
said, there'll be
trouble.
a gun that he could switch between, and that's
Oh!
a bad TP from Persia on top of the shear to get over it.
Enough ammo for
Good
possibly a
reposition from him.
second, maybe a third kill as well.
Gets a smoke to
Tucks
play
himself in
around.
the corner.
Also makes it look
Spots
like
the
he is
barrel,
playing back at
and
sight.
that's instantly
Ah,
ripped
dude,
away.
what a
The last
round
one
from
now,
him.
Francis, and he's stuck.
Got a little bit lucky with the
Tries to
first
look
kill,
for the
but
escape plan. It's a
everything
beat
else
me,
was
but he gets
nice.
spotted out by Jit Boys.
Dude, 4-0 to
8-4
4-8.
at the half. That's a flawless run in from Talon to
Dude,
really
Nongshim were
dominate
obsessed with
the
middle.
defensive side. 2 timeouts invested for Nongshim as well, eventuating into nothing. Just so
Surely
many
with
scenarios
Teo.
where there's a 5 versus 3 position
Like,
that
surely
Talon
with
are already having the
Teo,
numbers game. They can let
Harbor,
time do its work.
Yoru, Omen.
Killua, great round in that one. Good coordination from the team as well.
You have
I mean,
so many options of
Angry
just sight
Frost was
hitting.
here in the timeout
Do little
earlier
weird
on,
cubbies that you can
and it
TP
certainly
into
whipped
that are
them up.
safe.
It definitely was a wake-up call. I will say that.
I don't know.
8-4 is an incredibly good scoreline to start
There's
things
a world
off
where
the
four's
second
enough, but
Main
this
thing
comp
is
is like
teams gotta
insanely
keep
good
this
enough.
together.
If they get over towards the
Things
site,
have
they pretty
gone
much win.
A little bit
So
off by the wayside
Nongshim need
from
to
that
make sure
first
they
map
actually
where
just hold over
Nongshim
towards
found
the
6
Saints.
rounds in a row. There is still
like basically, as
scenario
soon as
in a
this
world where
as soon as this
Nongshim is
deadlock
able
gets
to
over
turn
towards the
things
site,
around.
it's done.
Yeah, I mean,
The
you're
whole
looking towards a
plan
little bit of the
is
differences
when
that
you hit
this
over towards the
side
site,
is
it's
gonna
like
have,
Fawn,
right? How
stop the
Killua
flood
deploying
through the
device, how
smoke,
is,
and then
Jit Boys
deadlock
deploying
you
the
till
deadlock?
just
I mean,
completely wins
I would
everything.
say it's a
You
little
got
bit more
the Sonic
mainstream when you look at
sensors,
Nongshim's,
for example, over towards
composition.
A
If
would
you,
block heaven, and you
remove
have
the
wall
Harbor,
over
for
towards
example,
door.
and you put in, something
Or
like
use
a-
your wall on
another,
door and forms in
initiator.
heaven,
That's
so
a
you can't
more
fast flood anyway.
common style, right, where you got an Omen, a Cypher, a Teho, Yoru. Like, this is playing in towards sort of a shifted meta with the new Teo, but Harbor in there, you're flipping it onto the defensive side. You can certainly see some things.
Yeah, they probably
that'll
need to
come
be a
out
little
from
bit more
Nongshim, but
proactive than they want
kind
to.
of wondering, we're not seeing opening kills. We're not seeing shots allocated for them, really.
I think Deadlock
There
got
was a
better
lot
or
of
worse with Tail leaving the matter.
individualness from Nongshim
I mean, you
on that
lose
attacking
the
side.
initial
Can they
combo,
adjust
but
that on this
honestly,
defensive side early?
most
Is
teams
Dami
with
gonna be
Yoru in
finding
any
any
way
opening
aren't in a
frags here?
position to get
Would
comboed
assume he
too
has to,
often, so
especially with the gate crash that he has
don't
right
lose
now. Just
much.
a dump of utility all
That
around.
looks
but
just insane right
sidestepped
now.
by Primi and Gang.
Ooh. Shots do pepper out. When the dark cover does fade, they can reimburse that with the Cascade. Doing nice and early, actually, from Francis there as they go
Okay.
looking for something different.
No bogeys on the radar just yet, though. No, Talon still playing discipline around the corners and angles.
as a G2 match, dude, you should at least watch
No
the
gate
third map
crash.
as a banger.
Darby
If you
now.
want the full experience, then go for the whole
Sheriff.
thing, but man, if you're limited on
Hits that
time,
he's
third map
hunting.
was pretty hype.
The repositions from Nongshim currently,
I wonder.
right? A slight gap for Talon. They just made some noise towards middle.
Yeah, it's all 5 for Talon, though, towards this A side, and it's go time. Primi,
Great
gone.
spam on this
Pepper
one, but
through
they do
the
get over
smokes.
towards the
Well
site.
as well.
And then we have double
Still-
Sonic Sensor, and they still have Omen Flash.
Opportunity for Nongshim abound. Talon
Surely we got some kind
have the
of
site, but this is where that
setup with the
utility comes
contacts.
in. The double sentinel,
Yeah.
all-around generator, and they can potentially buy
Dude,
so
Ty goes
much
down, he doesn't
time.
use them.
Now
Flash me
Killa
pissed.
peppering his own shots for it, but what is this? The wallbang for Margaret.
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay, repositions in towards Hell. Hiding inside of the survival smoke. Killua needs to find the shots. Jitboys comes in with the assistance. Margaret dropping down, but the utility not coming in alive. It's just Cruz, and he doesn't have any salvos either. The defuse getting stuck all the way through, and Nongshim answers back.
Yeah, it's
So
5-1
Nongshim
for the
have now
pistols.
found both
I get that he got
pistols. Cruz gonna
spammed,
have a
but
good
he
shot
shouldn't
for
be
that one.
here.
Both
He
pistols
should
for
be
Nongshim,
here.
and
We
they
should
are
have
still
someone
trailing, so
jumping
they're gonna
up
have to
ready
do
to,
some
once
heavy
the Omen
lifting at
Flash
the beginning
goes
of this
in,
half.
got to smoke over
They
towards
completely
doors so someone
relinquish
can
control
hold
of the A
door.
site, allowing Talon to get on in, but then a couple of shots come through. That's disgusting from Margaret. It's wild.
I
He's
mean,
able
it's
to find
a
one.
nice
I reckon
spam,
that's,
but he shouldn't be there
where
anyway.
the kind of problem comes in, right?
Yeah.
The pathing of the jet, and it's so familiar now.
And I'm looking towards Jitboys on the deadlock as well, right? That sonic sensor that he places at the corner or the top of generator. I've seen a lot of Cypher players when they're able to set up towards a post plane at the A site, they drop that one because it's one that if you're running in for a retake, your feet will trip and you're generally dead. You can also see some adjustments by putting the sensor under Hell and it will trip anybody running on the top. So I'd be interested to see how much depth Jitboys has on this map with just the deadlock utility for post plants.
Seen it drilled by Cruz from other maps, Haven for example.
Yep.
So hopefully Jitboy's able to pick up where Cruz left off. But right now, though, at least with the pistols.
Well, we're looking for Nongshim to pick up where they left off
That's
on
right.
the beginning 4 of this map. Getting more.
Picking things up with the drone. They
And
will
re-clear over
find
towards A, bit
just
of
that.
pressure
If they find 4
here.
rounds, they're
Leak
only
out
tying things up,
smoke.
Quack.
Try and keep
That's
3
right.
Still
people
more to
over
go.
towards B. Problem with the leak
Still,
out
though,
smoke is
Don't want to count them out.
you now only have one
Now
smoke to head
spotting
over
so much
towards
information
B.
towards B main. Surely the rotation soon enough. Talon, though.
Yeah, they're going to start to gather some information towards A, but if they do stretch their legs up through mid, they're going to have to break the trap wire, and this is where Darby with an outlaw, if he wants to go for the challenge there, potentially could get overwhelmed.
His Gate Crush has expired, so he's going to play for a different position, but that's when then Persia comes in with the out-dueled position on the Bulldog. Okay, Dambi back in.
Yeah.
Talon looking to recover.
Margaret's trap wire not going to do anything for him as Ivy
So far,
gets
so good, though. Repositions with a Spectre!
Okay.
The last shot going through, and Dambi nail in the coffin.
Got the
Rounds answered right
it wasn't
back.
too bad
Yeah,
for the
3
equal. They got a
alive.
good amount of
I think
damage.
you'll take that as a pass mark for Nomshim going in towards the buyout
favorite
round
Pacific
for
player.
Talent. See what sort of
I like
bonus is
watching
gonna be
something.
here.
I think
mean,
something's
they did
very
win the
fun
first
to
one
watch,
when they were on
but
their
I
attacking
do
side,
think
but it felt
I do
like,
think Invi's
there
just
wasn't just a adjustment from
the
Talent.
underrated
Right? It took
beast,
them a little
man.
bit to figure out how they're going to be countering the aggression of Nongshim. I think it may very well be another scenario where they've got to figure out how we're going to get throughout these defenses when we're a little bit lackluster on the initiator ability, right? You're going to have to see a little bit more come out from Vice, who Killua is playing a little bit more of that pseudo in it as well, right? You got the flash on the Archros that can certainly do that. Now though, Jitboys, oh, you're done. And that's an opener, which Ivy technically pilfers with the util,
That
but
is a
you'll
nice-
take that one
nice
as
little
a
set play, though.
opener that's not traded.
Fantastic calling.
Didn't do the
Meanwhile,
stick
That's where
back
you really
for
want to see a lot more
15
pressure
seconds or
onto
so,
teammate,
wait
but
for a
so far,
play.
nothing found.
But this is the time where I'm, saying it's a couple of rounds in the beginning for Talon where they have to get ready for what Nongshim throw their way, and then they might wake up.
That's where the adaptability
The
comes back
timing,
into
that was
question.
sick.
All of a sudden, the swings from both ends, and
Oh,
Talon
boy.
caught unaware.
Gonna get
This
close.
may very well be a flawless bonus to come through for Nongshim. Unless Cruz has something to say.
Double pistol into double bonus for Nongshim.
1v5, Komodo.
How are you ever meant to
I don't
win
know.
a map
He's
against that?
running straight back through spawn into 2 players from Nongshim, marking tiles. Persia spots him.
Yeah, just don't give him the solo duel here. Make sure you go in together as a team.
Whoa!
Which somehow Cruz finds both
But
of
he's
them.
so low.
5 HP. Maybe he gets closer towards the Armageddon here. He's one with death. And he gets another one, so he's got him for the next round. Okay, I think you're kind
Did
of
good
okay. Like,
damage.
that's a bonus round. You probably should be winning that one as Talon.
He
but
nearly
the fact
got a
that,
lineup at the
again,
end too.
Nongshim have a clear idea on how they're wanting to play the beginning of that round. It's the stuff that they practice in either scrims if they've tried this one, or it's the stuff that they're theory crafting nice and early on.
Right, and that's why you see this very specific composition. You love to watch and really get enthralled by how the utility combo comes into play, but we gotta see Cruz as well.
Yep.
Dude has some kind of an arm injury and he's still able to walk away with 3.
Yeah, but this is the strange scenario
Okay,
now,
A
right? Where you've
failed
got
so
Armageddon,
bad
where you've
that it
got
should be
a
weak this
Annihilation.
round.
If you're able to get a couple kills off that one, I mean, maybe you steal around back as Talon full
to
5
take a
towards
bit
A
of
main, however.
space.
Orb to
What
be
orb
gathered
do
up.
they get? I
Don't
mean,
know how much that's going to do, though. What is that?
look at the wall,
That's
man.
just, you shall not pass A main.
Double wall.
That one.
Are
That one's
Talon's a Balrog in this situation with just stingers?
I mean, that one's been prepared
Yeah, you lock
specifically
him
by
in.
Francis for this sort of scenario. He's done his homework.
They've been doing a
right
good,
wall.
they've
How
been
you
doing
like,
good
you know,
amount
you
of
gotta
wolves
calculate the
that once they
trajectory of
cleared
how
over
you
towards
swing
A,
your
they
mouse when the high
recreate
tech-
the
I mean, low
pressure.
sense
Like
game is
they might have walked in towards wine. They
Stingers
can
though
definitely
here
actually
for
do it at one
Talon.
point.
Let's see if they're going to be able to make work of this one. Again, Armageddon and Annihilation if they want to try and contend with it.
Gonna have to be a monstrous flash play. Grab net right now, though, against
Very
Dambi,
nice.
and unfortunately he will bite the bullet. Francis, however, bailing his team out of the tough situation. Just Cruz left, and he swings into his
Numbers here though
ultimate
from
doom.
Nongshim.
Nongshim tie up the
15
score.
HP, 2
Yeah, a little bit of an
HP. There's some
overstay
close
from
duels
Darby
there.
there with an Outlaw, where the no-scope
Primi got
ability of that
relatively
gun
unlucky
is
to knock in an
generally not
extra
too
one.
accurate. He does get taken down, but it's good to see that Francis stamps his feet and gets a couple of trades in there.
Dude, his
Valiant
movement on that
attempts
peak is
for
nice there.
Talon
As soon as he
with
sees
the
him, he
lesser
runs back
equipment, the
left.
Stingers to try and get something done there. Maybe with the end result, you might say a bit of an overinvestment with the Annihilation, but we start to get a little bit closer to a couple more of these ultis now as we are tied up 8-8. This is where we start to see some depth in this map.
This is where you need to see Talon try to find an answer back as well.
Yeah, for sure.
The op from Dambi, though, I don't know if Talon are prepared for it.
I mean, you know that the credits are available to come out with a gun such as this one, a shorty to destroy the stealth drone. A bit of a spot out too, but I mean, you're rinsing and repeating a lot of this.
Yeah, a little default from Talon. They use their wall for aggro B in case they react, and they use your sonic sensor in case they want to fight over towards A.
You do have your shear there as Killua as well to just make sure that nothing.
Dambi's been locking down mid the whole time, but passive.
Start to put our attention towards the A site.
Big duel over towards
no more
B.
harbor utility.
Drone goes out, doesn't spot anything as well. With that, Yori might take the
TP. You won't know that he's
TP.
done that much damage to Killua, but I don't think you can call for the team to come back to B, can you?
Yeah, not enough. Killua's got to do a little bit more. Meanwhile, towards the A site, just a full hit, and down with a TP, the corner left unchecked. Jit Boy's finally coming up with the goods, but still, it's not enough. Killua,
You got Francis, but can you... I mean, you're going to have to call for Cruz to get over here.
That's
How much
right.
time can you buy by
This
yourself?
is still
that's
around.
the whole thing.
Still has
He
a lot
might
of
have
potential here.
flashes, he might have
They
vines,
get
but
infoed.
They
I want to
technically
see how
leave to try to
Nongshim
cut him
reacts
off.
on
This
this
is why
one.
Killua has to go
Yeah,
back
they're trying
and
to
help
cut off
Cruz
the
get
op.
across.
Sorry, cut off the
Ivy,
spike.
he actually could give them an opportunity here.
Oh, Killua, he's peppered Ivy down by a
Dude,
big
he repeats.
Cruz.
There's the opportunity. He's given them a 2 versus 2.
Spike.
Overstayed, you're welcome, Ivy.
Here's the
And now
spike and he
there's a chance
re-peeked
still,
for
though.
it. That was kind of sick.
2v2, 10 seconds for
Thought
the
he might
plan,
catch him
and
as his
that
W
offers some
king because who would
opportunity to
re-peek this?
Nongshim to close in onto market, at least until the stun comes in. Cruz then has 1 second left until the salvo is back, so gets himself into a position where he sends it over. Further time being bought.
Arcros 2.
Killua hiding inside a boathouse, both players. Trying to play it safe. Oh, and
Flash
off the
commits,
flash!
a
It's
great
gonna
flash.
be a great kill, just Dambi left
Hey,
and he
dude,
marches
honestly, well
forward
played from them here.
until
Dude,
the
that
phantom
re-peek
shots
from
Killua
Cruz is
finds a round
incredible.
back in for Talon.
Yeah, the difference
Happy-
if Francis
dude,
is
who
able
died
to
to
finish
that?
him
I'd be
off through
so
the spam in
pissed.
the beginning of the round, or maybe if Ivy doesn't go for the cutoff kill, the neural theft to secure that information. But I'm seeing in this sort of scenario where you've got the first opening kills, right? It's a 5 versus 3 for a mere millisecond in time that gets converted back to the way of Talon. It's a 3 versus 2 that could have been.
It's a
But
nice
just
shot.
going for the kill a little bit too earlier on. Always going to understand the risks to try to win the game there, but sometimes just doesn't work your favor. And now Talon will reclaim the lead.
Majestically, yeah, put together.
Ooh, okay.
Spots out Francis.
They
as
could
well.
also still
Now
be a bait
Talon
that someone's
very
over
aware
towards
of what can
wine, so they
happen
got to be
around
careful
him
for that one.
for all
1,
that
2,
util combo.
3, 4, combine next.
Francis is just going
1,
to
2, combine next.
keep resetting all of this utility, making sure that he's staving them off for quite a little bit of time.
Did you check what gun he had?
You're correct.
That was sick. Sorry, he had the op.
And he still hasn't made a single peep, so still a chance for Killua.
And nice work to bait out the sonic sensor as well. You reclaim control of A main. You got to be too careful that you don't get flushed out by the salvos, for example, of Cruz if they want to go back towards the A side. But it looks like the call has been made for Talon here that they want to contest with B. And I'm wondering in this sort of time as Nongshim, what are you doing to re-get some information? You don't have a drone from Ivy. You have an operator from Dambi. So you're going to have to try and figure out something, right? A drone in towards mid. You don't necessarily know if it's teetering towards A or B.
Yeah, well, that
with
might
that,
do it.
No.
Especially in with the utility now coming out. Oh, Primi
It's
though,
really
he's
nice
just gonna
from
gate
Primi.
pass all of it. On
Saw
for
the
the sharp
Omen as
blades
well, so
into
went
the
for the
site
updraft
where
and
Margaret trying to
dodged
play
the
angle.
Omen flash if it came out fast enough.
Camera as well, and then for the mid-round calling back into the A site. Francis though, so
Dude,
far so good.
Francis
Puts up the high
seconds.
tide.
Could-
Boys jumps on over.
Okay, well,
what?
He needed a shoot.
It's my
He
fault
didn't
for
need a
even
Ferrari
thinking
ping
it.
him.
Unfortunate for Francis, but you still got Ivy around the corner. Down for the trade. Killua keeping the team afloat. Annihilation now just to push Nongshim away. Margaret back in. Sent out the last second on towards Heaven. Danby, operator into angle.
As soon as he makes noise as well, Sensor will get him. And you just got to call for the save here.
Yeah, money-wise, you got to be saving this
another
up.
situation where it's an individual member potentially for Nongshim. Had they tackled that a little bit differently, it could have
nice,
been the
yeah.
round. I mean, Harbor is not a general pick, especially on this map, right? It's not a common pick.
Yes.
regardless.
It looked
You
like
know,
with the
some teams
info
toy
of
with it here
checking
and
the
there on
gun
Icebox,
as
but
well,
that wall,
that helped with
it
their
does
call,
slow
I'm
you a
pretty
little
sure.
bit. Jit Boys has just
Because as soon as
jumped
they
on
saw
through that
this
one and found
gun,
you.
everyone just
Had you just
regrouped
gone for
over
the shot as
towards
Francis,
B.
that
They were
probably
ready
could have
to
been
use the
around.
Visor. I'm not sure they were fully expecting the
One of
op here
those
instead of like
coulda, shoulda,
on this
woulda.
angle, but
Situations definitely bites them in the back.
looked like it helped a
Thankfully, they
little
will
bit.
have enough to buy up.
This
or
play was
scrounge
sick
up,
though, and saw the Omen and the updraft was cool.
Some
Cool
weaponry
little
for
touch
the
onto
upcoming
that.
round.
Oh, he's done him there. Wow. Really nicely done from Talon.
Cheesy
despite the
SF,
time.
thank you so much for the raid, bro. I
Leading quite
appreciate that,
low.
dude. Hope your
Still
stream was
eyes on
good.
the
Thank you,
prize to
thank
finish
you.
it up. Now
Hello, Raiders.
we come into a more stacked ult round of Nongshim, but the weaponry,
Appreciate that, man. Thank you, thank you.
greatest. A couple of pieces that you can certainly work with for sure, but you need to see opener from Darby potentially. All right, he does get out, but the operator, you know, it still looms. Reckoning, Armageddon.
Or at least knowing that it has TP'd away.
Yeah, for sure.
Thinking about it.
I mean, you're still looking just to the early game of Talon in this round as well, making sure they're trying to piece together some sort of information, any more lean of a certain player.
I'm
right?
really
Again, you're
worried
gonna
for
confirm
Nongshim
Persia
that
is
they
playing into the
might
market. There's a couple of bodies in towards
go
mid.
heavy for it. Because if they end
You can
up going
expect that
B
there's
here,
going to be some cipher bits
they might
towards
try
the
and
B site now with that camera
I was
there.
gonna say they might try to just
So if you're
heavy
Talon,
retake it, and
this
they
is
might
the
be
sort of
tempted to use their
scenario where you got to
ults.
make a good conscious
Even
decision
though the buy's
on
not too
where you want
bad,
to try and end up.
It just worries me that two of them don't have guns.
B split, the name of the game here, and there are 3 members of Nongshim. The thing though, the Reckoning and the Armageddon are on the other side of the map. They are not going to reach towards that B site.
The intensity of the calls right now. Final decision making back
Dude,
at the B site.
We got no
And
smoke.
Nongshim, they have pieces
Guys,
on the board.
we have no smoke.
Margaret to receive the first.
Play for time. 20 seconds.
20 seconds. And Talon continue forward with their march. Armageddon now at the best possible time. And it puts Talon into a bit of a precarious position, trying to lock down in towards Boathouse,
He
though, at the
needs
very
to
least,
smoke,
and they
I
found
guess.
those kills. Margaret not able to stay alive either. Killua sticks the plant, and it's just Francis and Ivy. They peeked out, and they get shut down. Francis desperately looking for a kill, anything possible, but Talon denying it outright. Look at that spray from Cruz.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the positions of Ivy's Armageddon there. If I really want to be, you know, pedantic in this sort of scenario, he's trying to get as close as he can to be able to use it.
It wasn't too bad
drop
considering
it
the
from
time.
outside
I guess
into the site.
position-wise, I
Had
wanted it
been
better.
the other way towards lane, probably he actually could have forced the hand of
Yeah,
Talon,
yeah,
but
I
just
agree
not
with what
close
he's saying
enough
here.
because no one on Nongshim there were getting any extra further information up through me, up through B main.
I feel like
to
actually
confirm that Talon were going
clearing
to be
all of
ending
this
towards
could have
that
been
B
really
side.
nice.
Bit
Like
of a rough
forced
one
them out
there.
into
Not a
the
bit of a
lane.
rough one, a really rough one for Nongshim.
Right. Things are incredibly tense right now, and Killua just keeps up the pressure once again. Meanwhile, in towards A, he got the Gravnet. Francis trying to get out.
Locating targets.
Again, Talon sending up the stealth drone towards mid. And that's an opening double. Another 5 versus 3. Jit Boys has found both of them, and Darby is on an island by himself.
Dude,
only good for one.
Primi's
Down
so
the ship.
good at this, by the way. Eats a
Unfortunately,
flash and just has like
Francis
really
might
good
continue to
movement to
sink
just
as
make
well.
sure
Not
this
too
team
bad though,
can,
Margaret.
no matter what, trade him.
But it's still a 3 versus 2. You've got a lot of gaps around the map now that Cruz... Can he shift underwards this trapwire? No, he's going to jump into it.
Oh no.
And he will
Oh,
take
it's a
down by Persia.
devastating
Okay,
one.
2 versus 2 now.
Oh, it's a
Finds a
devastating
scalp.
one, that is.
So,
Oh, but this is risky, Quack.
Possibly able to turn things around. Yes, still risky. Jitboy's coming back in with the assistance.
Great,
And both of them wide swing.
Baited by the grab net.
They ended up
That's
perfectly
a real rough
committing.
one, and now it's Margaret.
I guess he was same angle as the.
Do you try and go for a 1 versus 2?
He was same angle as
Do you
Market.
save the gun for the last round?
It was swinging
potentially
perfect for
the next round?
Market. Whereas last scene.
Attempting to go for it. He's had a life game before.
He's got to have the idea, though, that this position is possible. He has to shift into it. It's confirmed, but it doesn't matter. Jitboys comes through with a 4K.
Really
and
nice.
now it looks like the realization is there for Talon on how they want to navigate
Dude,
this
how
map
did
on the
he get a
attacking
double
side
over
again.
towards
Another scenario.
A?
It's 4 rounds over to Nongshim.
Yeah,
and
the
that's
distraction
enough
of the
to get
Omen
all the
shooting from
information.
lower, so
that
the
loose
pre-aim
bullet at
is
the
off.
end there, by the way, ridiculous.
Primi does good here to dodge.
Really begin to feel for the Nongshim core.
The dodge of the flash.
Map point, series point, elimination point, Talon to try and survive in this lower bracket. For Nongshim, they would bow out here of stage 1. No extra points accumulated, just 3 on the tally, which means they have to do a lot next stage. But let's see what they can do here, because Dami has sleuthed his way in towards mid.
Why, yes. Still got some guns. That said, though, the stealth drone from Cruz could play detective.
Ooh, gate crash. Eventually going to start to fade here for Danby. And then it's a big decision. What do you do? Send another one? Or just get out? Yep, just gets out.
Out with the drone as well. So that's kind of force out the utility.
Always through mid.
From Talon.
Drone always through mid. Another avenue for Talon that they can choose to go for if they want to. Now you see a lot of members shooting at that one from Ivy.
Okay, reckoning for info as well.
Harboral
What can he do?
and
Oh, maybe
Alan
peek
called
out
to
into
cancel,
it
and
to
everyone just holds because they're going to try capitalize off of it.
Pops up over to the pop flash, but
Calling's nice
get
from
away until
Cruz.
he's tagged up. Thigh though, then looking for the lurk kill. All of a sudden into the A side. Persia had no earthly idea. Danby and Ivy though, finding shots right back.
3 versus 2 now. Cruz and Jitboys to get towards the site. Favor Jitboys here for a plant instead of Cruz potentially. Get an annihilation on board.
Okay, Spain has circuit points work.
Liquipedia
Liquipedia is like the best place to check the circuit points
Keep
standings.
as well, so he's not able to really pull out utility just yet, but I assume soon enough. Got a great chance to. Yep.
Oh damn, we
That
are.
one rip.
We're going through.
Heaven,
Send the
Danby's
clone
right in
out to
hell.
try get hit by it.
Cruz
It's
finds
unlucky
a shot,
timing.
looks for the flick onto
Oh,
Margaret,
nearly got the
but
kill
Margaret
though. Dude,
able to
super
snap
doable
one
for
right
Jit
back.
Boys.
Accuracy in spades. And it's just Jit Boys left. Needs to come up with the goods. He's got the first one so far. Can he find the clutch? It's a hopping Ivy! B-hopping off to the sides with a right click.
The good comms came in about his
in the
HP.
game.
Yeah.
Call that a kangaroo hop in my neck of the woods on that one. He's just bouncing up and down to try and get the kill with 10 HP. By the way, it was Jitboys that went for the plant at the end there to make sure the
K2
annihilation was
chances.
available. But it didn't actually cocoon anybody. No
That
pretty
was
butterflies
awesome,
in
man.
the round. As Nongshim finally will get another round back. But my oh my, these are certainly getting tense, aren't they? 12-9. There was 4 chances
See,
total,
that
now
shot
3.
is.
Yeah, that's the other thing though. Talon
Nice shot, man.
continues to afford guns.
Yeah, I mean they've done well to get 4 in a row, right? To permit themselves a couple buys with lost
No, that
bonus
was
on
funny.
another one after this.
Armageddon.
If
Dude,
they
look at
don't
that
get
money
it,
though. They're so
'cause then you
low.
also do
Everett
have
could
to
be
contend
a one shot from an
with
outlaw.
the
Obviously,
idea
they
of
don't get it out. They
there's
got the
eventually
Teo or
a big ult round that can be possible if Cruz
and
holds it.
Nongshim
Killua gets out the
still
Steel
want to
guard
go
in a
over
couple.
towards middle.
Depending on how the situations play out.
Dude,
right
insta
now,
pop with
he's
it. Okay,
just
we're
a
straight up
conceded
faking
aim
this one.
and a quick hit from Primi, but instantly gunned down by Ivy as
Straight
well.
up fake with the
Gonna get
all
used
invested
nice
as
and
well.
early from Talon towards
Okay,
the
let's
top
see
of the
it.
A
Two
side, but
pass
maybe
and
a little
push
bit
over
too early
towards
'cause it
B.
doesn't
If Margaret
find
doesn't get
anything.
one,
Meanwhile,
then
pivot back towards the
I'll
B
learn a
side for a
good
couple of
spot.
these members as Margaret is the lone soldier there, going to call for Francis to assist. So they've got some pieces at this B site.
And so far, Margaret has done his job of putting up those cages at the right times. Meanwhile, for Talon, looking for gaps to slip in.
And they would have a 4 versus 2 at this B side if they wanted to try and slip in there nice and early. As the barrier mesh fades, that's going to be the call for Danby to start to think that mid might have been exposed. So he starts to reposition. This, with 50 seconds now, is a bit of an interesting one.
Wow. Tree being checked as well. Nongshim doing their due diligence right now.
Yeah.
a
Down
lot
to
of
the
individual
initial
drills. Good
positions
luck
as
to the
well as
observer.
the flank checks. Killua so far so good on the entry.
Francis needs help.
Whoa!
Oh, he needs
puts
a
up
lot of help.
big wall just to keep himself
Oh,
alive in the corner,
boy.
but it gets spotted
That
out by
did
Talon.
not
Now further
go
kills being
great.
found. Cruz cutting off on the rotations, and it's just Ivy left. Does he find the clutch? Salvos might be back in 3 seconds, but
Hello.
the TP as well. And that's just further
Okay, nice hand from
distractions until
Talon.
Cruz
I like that calling
swings
on
out from
attack
the
here. This
back.
was nice.
Talon sends Noxian packing.
Again, the pole is really rough, but everything else looks kind of nice in this one. This was way better on Ascent from what we saw last time. I can't be angry at this.
Mid-rounding adaptations on what Noxian
That Harbor loss round looked
to send their way. A team of
certain
talent
situations,
that's had
man, the
their trials
Harbor,
and tribulations
you got to be a
through
beast on
this
it.
stage.
Otherwise,
it's looked awkward, it's looked
otherwise you
bad,
give them a
but
lot of
it's also
space.
looked pretty good, and they are still on a pathway here to be able to potentially